Hey everyone, so I want to do a review on the Vitapur standing water cooler. I have a thing with water coolers. This is my third one. It's actually going out in the garage. I like them. My city water is horrible where I live. It just tastes really, really bad. So what I do is I go to the Home Depot and I bought 3 bottles of 5-gallon jugs. And I take them back after they're empty. So I think the initial cost was like $13 or $14. And then when you replace it, when you take the old jug back and you get a new one, it's like $6, and the water just tastes so much better. So I love these dispensers. The difference between this one and the ones I have, the ones that I have currently, they're underwater storage. And this one here, the jug sits on top. But I see these are selling pretty good on the Home Depot website. I figured I'd check it out, do a review on it. I like a lot of things about this, but there's one thing I really don't like, which we'll talk about soon enough. So just to let you know, this takes 3 gallons or 5 gallons. I see a lot of questions on the Home Depot website when it comes to these dispensers is what type of bottle does it use? I use the plastic jugs. I use 5 gallons, but once again, it takes a 3 or 5, or it actually takes the Vitapur filtration system. So you can actually buy the filtration system, put that in there on top, and then pour water down into that, and it'll actually filter it, and then you can use it that way. So if you wanted to use the tap water instead of going back and getting, you know, a jug every time you run out, which a jug usually lasts me, I have 2 kids, a wife, and myself. We both drink a lot of water. 3 jugs of water usually lasts me a little over a month. Not cooking with it or anything like that, but it does last a while. So I do want to do a little review on this. So all in all, the look of it, I like it. It's a bright white. It's not a stainless steel, but it's not a cream color. It's a bright white. 3 to 5 gallon jugs, or the filtration system. High efficiency compressor, which is actually very quiet. I don't hear this thing run at all. Every once in a while you'll hear it kick on, and you see that blue light. That blue light kicks on saying, hey, listen, your water is cold. You can adjust that water temperature. So you can bring it down to a room temperature or a very high ice cold water, which it does a very good job. And I'm actually gonna put a jug on here and actually let you see this thing in action. But that blue light's on saying, hey, listen, I'm ready to go. And it literally only takes maybe 5 minutes to get it ice cold, which is really cool. So you can do an ice cold temp with the one button on the right, which I'll show you, and then on the left hand side it's room temp. So if you're just making maybe some tea or you don't want it real hot, you know, you can just use that. The other thing I want to mention is that this does not have a hot water dispenser option. It's only room temperature or cold water. That's it. So if you want to make hot chocolate with this thing or baby bottles, sorry, just cold water. Now on my other 2 dispensers, I have a light that's underneath of my spigot or faucet, you would say, on this here. This does not have one. Now that's a plus and a negative. I like the lights. Usually they're a bright LED color. The problem with that is if you're on the couch in the living room, you're gonna see that bright light, and you can see them. They're very bright. So this one does not have a light shining underneath where the water trap is. It does have a water trap, which I'll show you here. And it's pretty simple to take out. So if water gets down in there, all you do is pop this off, and then you're going to clean that out. So before I actually show you how this jug gets hooked up, set up, and dispenses water, I do want to talk about the one negative thing that I found about this, and it drives me crazy. Usually on these top filling dispensers, all you do is pop the top off when you clean these things. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to pop the top off. You can mix 4 cups of water with 4 cups of vinegar, pour it down in that thing, let it set for about 20 minutes, and then just dispense it out. And then once you do that, you want to rinse it out with a little bit more clean water to get that taste out of there. You don't want to leave anything in there. That being said, this is not the easiest lid to pop, okay? When I was trying to do this, I was like, man, how do you do this? And the instructions, I gotta be honest with you, the instructions aren't that great either. There's pictures there. I mean, you get a thick booklet, but it doesn't really tell you anything. So I was trying to figure out how to actually remove the top of this, and it says open and close. There's a little arrow, and I'll take pictures of this and I'll show it to you. But it's not the easiest thing in the world, so I'm gonna show you how you do this. This is how you would clean the top of this. So on the top here, you got So on the top here, you have a open and close, and there's like a little handle here that you can pull up on. Once again, I'll take pictures and I'll put them in the video. But what you want to do is take this and you want to turn it to the open side. The problem is there's like a suction to this, and it is hard. It's not easy to do. Usually you could just pull these things right off and you can do what you need to do. This you have to turn and then pull off, but I'll show you, it's a little bit of a struggle here. So you're going to turn this, and if you can find an easier way, please show me. So you're going to turn that to the open area, and then there's two tabs there. These tabs are inside here, so if you don't turn this, it doesn't open up to the openings and you can't lift it off. So then you're going to pop this off the top, and you can see what I'm talking about. So there's a tab here, and then there's a tab on the other side, and these go down and they sit right here. So you can see that it was a little bit of a struggle. That was not easy. So that really needs worked on. Now that being said, I got the top off. All I would do is put some water and vinegar in this, let it set, run it through. You can do it a couple times, and that's how you would clean this. So let me put this back on. Once again, I'm going to put the open arrow. There's two arrows on the top. You're going to line those arrows up, and you have to get that back down in there. If they don't line up, you're not going to be able to do it. So now they lined up, and now you got to turn it back to the closed option. I don't like that. Just being honest with you. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Okay, so this is the top front of the actual cooler, and what I wanted to show you was the buttons on the right hand side. That's the very cold water, and that's what you would press if you wanted the ice cold. And then on the left hand side, the other button is room temperature. So there are two different options. Then you can see the straw device, which actually lets the water go down into the dispenser holding tank. And then once again, that ring that you have to remove to actually clean the water tank, which I told you I did not care for. There's a closer picture right here. This one here says close, open. What you actually have to do is turn that, right? So you have to turn that to the left and then open it up that way. And then once you are done cleaning it, you would put that lid back down and then close it. And then there's another picture right there, open and close, and then there is the actual straw that goes down. So we talked about how you open up the top and you put the water and the vinegar in, but you have to release that. So like I said, you can run that through, but if this has a lot of water in there, you can either run it through with just hitting the buttons on top. Once again, this is your cold and this is your room temperature, or there's a screw in the back that releases a little hatch, and that allows the water to flow out as well. It comes out of the reservoir. So what I want to do now is I want to show you how the jug actually goes on top and how the water comes out. And once again, this is a 5-gallon jug. So you have the top right here. And you can buy these, like I said, at the Home Depot. That's where I get all of mine. It actually tastes great. It's from, I believe, Crystal Springs. So I'm going to take this, and there's a little, I want to say, puncture area. And once again, I'll take pictures for you that this goes on. You're just going to set it down right on top like this. All right, and I will go get a glass. So you can see the water is actually going down into the reservoir, and that's nice. The problem that I have with the hidden bottles is that you never know how much water you have. An orange light will pop on and say, hey, you're low on water. But this is nice because you can actually see what you have left. It doesn't really look that bad, to tell you the truth. With the bottle on, this thing probably sits 4 feet, maybe 4.5 feet off of the ground, and that's with the bottle. Without the bottle, you're probably looking at 3.5 feet. So once again, it's going down into the reservoir, and you can hear it kicking on, and it's not that loud. I'll stand closer with my microphone so you can hear it. Once again, you really don't hear it. So that light is off. That means that it's actually in cool down mode right now. I'm gonna put my glass on the ice cold. It's a nice size shelf. Gives you some room for a larger glass. All right, so now that the water is in there, I'm going to hit the cold option, or the cold button. What I like about this is it actually comes out quick. You can see the water starting to go back down in, starting to refill. It actually comes out really quick. The ones that have the straws, the metal straws that suck the water up, they're very loud sometimes, so you actually hear a motor running to pull that water up through the straw and into the reservoir. And the other thing is they don't always work that fast. If you're thirsty and you need some water, I mean, it's coming out quick for you. So that's a plus. So once again, the very cold option. I'm gonna come over here to the room temperature option. So it comes out nice and quick. It's not loud. I barely hear this thing running. So that being said, if I give this a star rating, 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, I would give this a solid 4. And the reason for that is because of that top. If that thing was easier to turn, it would be a 5-star for sure for me, just because it comes out quick, it works great, the water's very cold, and it's quiet. It doesn't have any lights shining you in the face, but other than that top, it's a solid 4-star. So I hope this helps you. I'll take a couple pictures, I'll add them to the video. If you have any questions, please ask. I'll do my best to help. Subscribe, thumbs up if you like this. Have a great day.